My mom gave my life savings to my brother. You'll be fine, she said. Senior year was supposed to feel like freedom, like possibility. I'd worked my ass off for 4 years, AP classes, track team, honor roll, part-time job at the bookstore downtown. I even skipped junior prom to take a night class at the community college for dual credit. All because of one thing. I wanted out of Boise, out of the house, out of the noise, out of my mother's shadow. The plan was simple. University of Oregon. Political science major. Dorm life. Maybe law school down the road. Mom always said, "We've been saving since you were a baby." And I believed her. I let myself believe it. Graduation day came. Sun, cap, gown. I gave my valedictorian speech. My mom, Donna, cried like she'd won a Nobel. Kyle, my older brother, was there too, looking bored. His girlfriend Madison didn't even clap when I crossed the stage. She thinks college is a scam, he told me later. She read this podcast guy who says it's all indoctrination. Yeah, Kyle, the guy who never graduated from anything but rehab. Still, I smiled. Said thanks. Tried to enjoy the moment. Because that's what you do, right? You tell yourself, just get through the day. The real life starts after this. It was 2 days after graduation when I asked Mom to log into the college fund portal. We were in the kitchen. I was making coffee. She was scrolling Facebook. Hey, can you send me the link for the Oregon tuition deposit? I need to pay the housing fee this week. She froze. Slight. Barely noticeable. But I felt it. What? The housing deposit. For U of O. Oh, right. She didn't move. You okay? We need to talk. I laughed. That sounds ominous. She didn't laugh back. She set her phone down, folded her hands. Kyle needed help. My stomach dropped. What kind of help? He got into trouble. Again. Nothing illegal. Just financial strain. What kind of financial strain? He was trying to start something. A business. A business? Like what? A media brand. Online content. Like that thing he always talked about. Mom, he needed capital. A car. Camera equipment. Website fees. Living expenses. Mama so. I gave it to him. Silence. You gave what to him? She blinked. The fund. I felt the room tilt. Like something cracked in the foundation and I hadn't caught my balance. What fund? Your college fund. You gave my college fund to Kyle? It wasn't just yours. It was a family account. You told me it was for school. You said it was for me. I said we were saving for college, not that it was exclusively yours. Are you seriously playing semantics right now? Don't yell. Oh, I'm not yelling. Kyle needed it more. That did it. He needed it more? He dropped out of 2 community colleges, totaled 2 cars, and hasn't held a job for more than 6 months. But he needed it more. He's struggling. You'll be fine. How? Loans. Scholarships. You're smart. You'll figure it out. You're unbelievable. You'll understand when you're a mother. I laughed. Sharp. Bitter. Ugly. Don't you dare pull the "you'll understand someday" card. You lied to me. I didn't lie. You let me think I had a future paid for. You let me plan a life I can't afford now. Don't be dramatic. I passed on scholarships because you said we had this fund. You didn't want to go to a state school. Because you said I didn't have to. She stood. Calm. Unshaken. You're not a child anymore, Natalie. Real adults don't cry over money. I walked out. Straight out the front door. No shoes. Just rage. And betrayal. And the sound of my mother's voice echoing behind me. You'll thank me someday. That night, I slept at Mia's house, my best friend. Her mom made hot chocolate. Let me cry without questions. Mia didn't say much. Just stared at me. Finally, I always thought your mom was intense. But this. She's obsessed with Kyle. Always has been. He's the golden child. And what are you? The backup. I didn't go home for a week. When I did, Kyle was in the kitchen, drinking a protein shake and talking to someone on speakerphone about affiliate branding potential. He didn't look guilty. Didn't look at me at all. Just said, "Hey, don't blame me. I didn't ask for it." Did you say no? He smirked. Would you? I left again. This time, I didn't come back. I deferred my college admission. Took a second job. Applied for emergency aid. Cried in the bathroom between shifts. And told myself, over and over, they don't get to break me. They don't get to win. But that was before Kyle wrecked his 3rd car. Before Mom called me in the middle of my shift and said, "You need to come home. This family is falling apart." The first thing my mom said when I finally answered her call wasn't, "I'm sorry." It wasn't, "I messed up." It wasn't, "I want to fix this." No, it was, "You can't avoid this family forever, Natalie. We need to talk like adults." Adults. That word again. She said it like a weapon, like it gave her moral superiority. Like stealing from your own daughter suddenly counted as parenting if you did it with a straight face. I met her at the diner on 8th and Madison. Neutral ground. I brought my own water. Didn't touch the menu. She sat down in a cardigan that probably cost more than my rent, sighed dramatically, and said, "I don't like this version of you." I didn't even blink. What version is that? Cold. Disrespectful. Entitled. I'm not entitled. I just expected the money that was promised to me. We didn't promise. We said we'd do what we could. You said it was there. You said it was for me. Well, life changes. You gave it to Kyle. That's not life-changing. That's favoritism. He needed it. And I didn't. She leaned back, exhaled slowly. Kyle's not like you. He's not strong. He's not resourceful. He's fragile. So you reward that? I support my children. No, Mom. You support Kyle. I'm just the one you expect to applaud from the sidelines. She tapped her nails on the table. You're being dramatic. No. I'm being clear. You think this is easy for me? Honestly? Yeah. You seem really comfortable screwing me over. Watch your tone. Or what? You'll give away my future again. She went quiet. Then quietly, I gave up everything for you kids. I laughed. You gave up my college fund. That's all I see. You'll understand when I'm a mother, right? Yeah, you've used that line enough. She shifted in her seat, looked around like someone might come rescue her. No one did. What do you want from me, Natalie? Nothing. Not anymore. You can't survive on anger forever. I'm not trying to survive. I'm trying to escape. When I stood up to leave, she grabbed my wrist. Not hard, but firm. Don't you dare turn your back on this family. You turned your back on me the minute Kyle came knocking with his next failure. That's your brother. No, that's your mistake. And I'm done paying for it. I yanked my arm free and walked out. Didn't look back. That night, I moved out for good. Mia's older cousin had a room open in her apartment. It was tiny. No air conditioning. Roaches the size of quarters. But it was mine. I picked up another job, evening shifts at a gas station. My sleep schedule disappeared. My social life evaporated. I stopped waiting for things to feel fair. And I started building anyway. Kyle texted me a week later. You need to chill. It's not like I stole it. I replied. You didn't have to. Mom handed it to you. He sent back a shrug emoji and said, You'll bounce back. You always do, right? Because being used to struggling makes it okay. The day tuition was due, I cried in the bathroom at work. I had two options. Drop out and work full-time to survive, take out $47,000 in loans for freshman year alone. Guess which one I picked? I signed. Digitally. And just like that, I was in debt before I ever stepped into a classroom. You know what my mom said when I told her? That's what real adults do. They figure it out. I worked through orientation week. Missed every welcome event. Didn't decorate my dorm. Didn't buy a hoodie. Just showed up. Took notes. Went to work. Lived off cup noodles and pride. Meanwhile, Kyle? He posted pictures of his new home office. Dual monitors. Ring light. Ergonomic chair. Captions like, Start building your empire. No excuses. Empire? Huh? Funny. He was building it with my bricks. Mia sent me a screenshot from his Instagram one night. Kyle and Madison on the beach. Champagne in hand. Hashtag. Grind culture freedom lifestyle. She texted me. This dude really thinks he's the next Elon. I didn't even respond. What was the point? By Thanksgiving, I was so burned out I couldn't see straight. But I refused to go home. Not because I was angry. Because I was finally free. Because once I stopped hoping they'd do better, I finally started doing better for myself. There's a kind of tired that doesn't go away with sleep. That was my freshman year. 4 classes a day. 2 jobs. 1 campus meal plan that ran out after 6 weeks. I learned how to stretch $20 across 5 days. How to act normal on 2 hours of sleep. How to cry quietly in a shared dorm bathroom so no one would knock. But the part that really broke me was pretending I wasn't angry. Because anger makes people uncomfortable. And girls like me? We're not allowed to make anyone uncomfortable. Every time I walked past the Career Center on campus, I saw posters, Build Your Future, Start Strong, Finish Stronger, cute slogans. All written by people who never had to check their bank account before ordering lunch. I had a spreadsheet. Color-coded. Every dollar accounted for. Rent, books, groceries, medical insurance, bus fare. What I didn't have was backup. And every time something went wrong, an overdraft, a surprise lab fee, a cold I couldn't afford to treat, I had no one to call. Because the only woman I should have been able to call was the one who told me to figure it out. Meanwhile, Kyle was out there figuring out his brand. The media empire turned out to be a YouTube channel and a dropshipping site that sold motivational mugs and knockoff headphones. He posted videos of himself sitting on couches in different Arabs, talking about the grind and building passive income. The comments were full of bots and thirsty girls. Kyle, you're so inspirational. Tell us how you do it, King. Haters gonna hate. You're clearly self-made. I watched one of his live streams during a lunch break once. He said, some people take the easy route, scholarships, handouts, whatever. I built this. With no help. No help? I almost threw my soup. I didn't talk to Mom for almost a year. Not out of spite. Out of survival. Because every time I saw her name pop up, my chest would tighten. My throat would close. Like my body knew, she was still poison. And then, out of nowhere, she texted. Can we talk? It's about Kyle. I didn't reply. She followed up the next day. It's serious. So I answered. One word. What? She called me. Voice shaky. He's in trouble. Define trouble. Debt. His business collapsed. He was using credit lines. Personal loans. Investor money. You mean my college money? Natalie, no. You don't get to say my name like I'm still your daughter. Silence. He needs help. They might sue him. He's not well. Not my problem. You always say he never gets consequences. Well, now he's drowning in them. So you want me to do what? Bail him out. He's your brother. No. He's your choice. You picked him. Again. And now you're reaping it. That night, Mia sent me a screenshot of Kyle's Twitter. People love to see you fail. Jealousy is real. But I'm not done. And another one. If you've ever been betrayed by your own family, just know, they were never your tribe to begin with. I laughed so hard I cried. Midterms hit. My grades held. Barely. I picked up a paid internship. Quit the gas station. Started writing grant applications at 2 a.m. and eating plain rice when I couldn't afford groceries. But I didn't go back. Not once. Thanksgiving came. I stayed on campus. Watched videos. Ate boxed mac and cheese with Mia and 2 other kids who couldn't afford the flight home. Mom sent a photo. The table set, candles lit, Kyle front and center. No grace. No empty seat. I wasn't missed. Just erased. And yet, when the final blow came, I didn't see it coming. It was a Friday night in December. Finals week. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered, too tired to care. Hi. Is this Natalie Evans? Who's asking? I'm calling from Sunrise Credit Solutions. We're following up on an application co-signed by Donna Evans. You're listed as an emergency reference. I blinked. Wait. For what? It's regarding a $15,000 unsecured line of credit initiated by Mr. Kyle Evans. He's listed his mother and your contact as emergency fallback. I froze. Why are you calling me? It appears the application has entered default. We've attempted to contact Ms. Evans with no response. Per the fallback terms, I hung up, blocked the number, sat there in silence. They were still using me. Even now. Even after everything. I called Mom. Straight to voicemail. So I sent a text, take my name off anything. I'm not your insurance policy. She replied 4 hours later. You think you're so much better. But one day you'll need this family. No, I won't. Because I built myself from the ground up. With nothing. And I'll never let them take from me again. I didn't hear from Kyle directly. I heard about him the way you hear about an earthquake on the other side of the country. Secondhand, late, and louder than it needs to be. It started with a Facebook post from one of his old friends. A photo of Kyle standing next to a car with a boot on the tire, arms crossed, fake smiling. Caption, from CEO to couch surfing. Grind culture really let you down, huh? The comments were brutal. I didn't laugh. Not because he didn't deserve it, but because I knew exactly what was coming next. 3 days later, Mom called. I didn't answer. Then she texted, Kyle's back home. He's not doing well. I stared at it for 10 minutes. Typed out, not my problem. Deleted it. Typed, hope you're both enjoying the consequences. Deleted that too. Eventually I just wrote. You told me he'd figure it out. Let him. But she didn't stop. 2 days later, he hasn't left his room. He's not eating. Next day, he's asking about you. Then finally, we need to talk. Please. Against my better judgment, I agreed. We met at a park halfway between her house and my campus. Neutral ground. I kept my arms crossed the whole time. She wore sunglasses, like this was an episode of some daytime TV special. The moment she sat down, I knew she wasn't there to apologize. She was there to recruit me. He made mistakes, she began. Understatement, I said. He's paying for them. Not nearly enough. She exhaled. Look. I know you feel like we let you down. You didn't let me down. You sold me out. It wasn't like that. You gave him my future and told me to take out loans like a real adult. I didn't say it like that. You didn't have to. The meaning was loud and clear. She sat in silence for a bit, watching kids play on the swings nearby. He's lost, Natalie. You don't understand what it's like watching your child spiral. Actually, I do. I watched you spiral into denial every time he failed, and you kept giving him more. He needs help. So do I. But you never showed up for that. We're family. No. We're blood. That's not the same thing. Then she said it. The thing she came there to say. We're selling the house. I blinked. Okay. I'm moving in with my sister for now. Carl can't stay there. Again, not my issue. I want him to move in with you. Just for a few weeks. I laughed. Out loud. You're joking. Just until he gets on his feet. I sleep on a futon in a 2-bedroom with 3 girls and pay rent with cafeteria coupons. He's not setting foot near me. She flinched. You don't mean that. I do. For the first time in years, I do. I left her sitting there, face red, mouth open. Didn't hug her. Didn't look back. That night at work, I vented to one of my coworkers, a girl named Lauren. She was a year older. Quiet. Smart. Paid her own tuition. Worked 2 jobs like me. When I told her what happened, she shook her head. Girl, that's not family. That's a curse. Yeah, but sometimes I feel like I should. Nope. Stop right there. Guilt is their last weapon. They used up everything else. A few days later, I got an email. Subject line. Let's fix this. Sender, Donna Evans. I opened it. Big mistake. Natalie, I'm sorry for how things have turned out, but I'm asking you to show grace. Kyle is your brother. You two used to be so close. Remember when you were little and you used to play video games together? He made bad choices, yes. But haven't we all? You've always been the strong one. The independent one. Please. Come home for dinner. Talk to him. Help him see there's still family here. I miss you. Love, Mom. I stared at the screen. Then hit reply. Donna, I don't miss the games. I miss the girl who believed her mom would protect her. You say I've always been strong. But maybe you should ask why I had to be. Kyle had a safety net. I had debt. He had grace. I had guilt. He got a second chance. I had to build my first from scratch. I won't come to dinner. I won't save him. I won't carry this family anymore. You made your choice. Now I'm finally making mine. Goodbye. Natalie, I didn't send it. Not right away. I reread it 3 times. Hands shaking. Then I clicked send. It felt like burning a bridge I'd been staring at for years. And watching it collapse was the most peace I'd ever felt. The next day, I woke up at 6 a.m. to 3 missed calls and 1 email. All from my mother. I didn't open any of them. Instead, I did something I'd never done before. I opened a blank Google Doc, titled it, They Gave My College Fund to My Brother, and wrote everything. How I'd worked since I was 15. How they said they were saving for me. How I found out, 2 weeks after graduation, that it was all gone, handed over to my older brother for his business. How they told me to take out loans like a real adult. How they told me I was stronger, and he was fragile. How they expected me to fix the mess when it all collapsed. I didn't hold back. No names. No locations. But every line burned. I wasn't trying to go viral. I was trying to scream in a world that made me whisper for years. I posted it on Medium. Hit publish. Then tweeted a link with a caption. Imagine finding out your college fund went to your brother's YouTube channel. Because he needed it more. And then being told to take loans like a real adult. This is my story. I put my phone down. What a class. Forgot about it. By the time I checked back, the tweet had 3,000 likes. By midnight, 20K. People were sharing it, commenting, sending DMs, posting their own stories, tagging their siblings, their parents, their therapists. Someone from a nonprofit that funds women in education messaged me directly. We'd like to speak with you. We have resources. And another woman from a student finance blog. Would you be open to an interview? I was shaking. I had never been heard like this before. Then came the headlines. Her parents gave her college fund to her brother, so she told the world. Reddit reeling over woman's viral story about family betrayal from ramen to rage. Why her story hit a nerve. I didn't care about fame. I cared that I wasn't alone anymore. I got a message from an alumna of my university. Older woman. Lawyer. Successful. She wrote, I was you once. My brother got a new car. I got student debt. Here's my card. If you ever need career advice, call me. I cried reading that. For the first time in forever, not from pain, but from relief. And then the text from Mom started. I ignored the first 2. Then I read the third. How could you? Then the fourth. You're airing our shame like dirty laundry. Then, you're making Kyle spiral again. And finally, congratulations. You've ruined this family. That one I responded to. No. I just stopped keeping your secrets. 3 days later, Kyle messaged me. From a new number. Hey. I stared at it. Didn't answer. A minute later, I saw the post. Still nothing. Then, "It's blowing up." I typed, "You think I don't know that?" He replied, "You made me look like a joke." I laughed out loud. Typed, "I didn't have to. You did that all by yourself." Then, "You don't know what I'm going through. You never knew what I was going through either. I lost everything. You never earned it." That shut him up. For now. A week later, I got a letter. Not an email. An actual printed envelope. From a women's scholarship fund I had applied to months ago and totally forgot about. Inside, "Congratulations. You've been selected for a full academic grant. All for years. Paid. In full." I dropped to the floor. Cried. Laughed. Screamed. Mia filmed it and posted the video with the caption, "She built everything they said she didn't deserve, and they're still watching." It hit 400K views in a day. Mom tried to call. Left voicemails. "We're worried about you. You're not returning our calls. Kyle is in therapy now. We're rebuilding. It's time to come home. We miss you." I didn't answer. One voicemail did break me, though. It was from my aunt. "Your mom told me you're embarrassing the family, that you're being vindictive. But I read your story, and I want you to know, I'm proud of you. Don't let guilt make you small again." That night, I posted one more update. They told me I was selfish for speaking up. They said I ruined the family, but they never once apologized. Never once asked what it cost me to stay silent. So yeah, I told the truth, and it saved my life. They didn't call after that. Not for a while. But I knew it wasn't over. Because families like mine, they never go quiet. They just reload. 3 years later, I walked across a different stage. Not in a high school gym with cheap folding chairs. This time it was a university auditorium. Packed, bright, serious. Cap and gown again, but this time, earned in full by me. No help. No handouts. Just grit, debt, until the scholarship came, ramen, and late nights. My full name was announced. I stepped up, took the diploma, smiled for the camera. The crowd clapped. Mia screamed loudest. No mom. No Kyle. No Donna tears in the front row. No half-fake claps from the boy with the startup and no taxes. Just me. And the life I'd built, alone. Afterward, I went home to an apartment I paid for, with a job offer waiting in my inbox, with emails from women asking for advice on their own student struggles, telling me they'd read my story and cried. I didn't feel sad they weren't there. I felt full. And that night, because of course it happened that night, she called. Donna. I had her number saved as "Do Not Answer." But I picked up anyway. I wanted to hear it from her own mouth. "Hi, Natalie." Her voice was cautious, coded in that old sugar-slick tone she used when she wanted something. "Hi, Donna." She paused. "Donna. Well, we're not doing the mom thing anymore, remember?" She laughed softly, like I'd told a joke. "I saw your graduation photos." "Of course you did. You look strong." "I am strong. Listen, we've been talking. Kyle and I. And we'd like to come see you." I didn't say anything. So she kept going. "He's doing better. He's working. Not full-time yet, but making progress. Therapy's helping. He's different." "Is he sorry?" "He's growing." "So no." Silence. "We want to start over." I laughed. "Start over from where, exactly? The day you stole from me? The day you told me I'd bounce back? The moment you picked him again and again while calling it motherhood? I never save it. I'm not that girl anymore. Natalie, we need you." There it was. The truth. Not love. Not regret. Need. The same old cycle. I let the silence sit. Then said, "You need me because I survived the fire you lit. But I don't owe you shelter from the cold." That's cruel. No. It's the clearest thing I've ever said to you. She started crying. Or trying to. I didn't stay on the line long enough to find out if it was real. "Goodbye, Donna." Click. Later that week, Kyle messaged me. Not angry. Just quiet. "I don't blame you." I didn't reply. Not out of spite. But because sometimes silence is the loudest thing we own. I moved across the country that summer. Got my first real apartment. A desk job. Real health insurance. I started paying forward what I never had, mentoring younger girls. Answering emails. Speaking at workshops. My story followed me. But I didn't let it define me. It fueled me. Sometimes people ask, "Do you regret telling the world?" Not once. Because I lived years swallowing silence. Because I watched my future handed to someone else and was told to say thank you. Because the truth saved me. I still get messages from other Natalies. Girls in basements. In small towns. In families where love is weaponized and loyalty is currency. They ask, "How did you walk away?" And I tell them, I didn't walk. I ran. And every mile since then has been mine. So yeah, my mom gave my entire college fund to my brother. She told me to grow up, take out loans, be strong. And I was. Not for her. Not for them. For me. And for every girl who thinks silence equals strength. It doesn't. Speaking up does. Final words to you. If they made you feel like asking for what was yours meant you were selfish. If they told you you were strong just so they didn't have to protect you. If they praised you for surviving what they forced you to endure. Then I'm here to say, you're allowed to leave. You're allowed to tell. You're allowed to build something that never includes them again. They may need you, but you never needed that kind of love. You needed truth. And you still do. Subscribe if you've ever had to unlearn what your family called love. Share this story with someone who thinks they're alone in the struggle and tell me what made you walk away.